America, other Western nations, and the rest of the free world face our biggest challenge since World War II.
War has never left America. This is an unforgettable reality since World War II, with hundreds of thousands of young American troops forever lost on foreign soil. The Korean War, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. The fallen never made their way back. But America's sorrows have just begun.
Soy americano.
Soy hispana.
Estoy informado.
A través de una conversación directa.
Sobre los temas.
Que son importantes para mí.
Por las personas que entienden mis valores.
De dónde vengo.
Y hacia dónde voy. Por eso.
Somos americanos.
Welcome back, everyone, to Veteran Nation. Joining me, as always, is the great T.C. Pearson.
You have no sound.
Oh.
You, Skipper, you've got no sound. Hey, welcome to T.C. and Skipper. Mostly T.C. because Skipper's been silenced.
I got sound now.
So, oh, geez.
Juan had me muted. Go figure.
I mean, it's understandable. What would you like to do our intro again?
Sure. Welcome, everyone, back again to Veteran Nation. Joining me, as always, is the great T.C. Pearson.
Oh, it's great. I mean, what was it last week? Was it honorable? Last week was
honorable.
This
yeah.
week it's great.
See, you're moving up. I don't know what anything was saying in that last commercial because I don't speak Tijuana.
Puerto Rican.
The only thing I know in that language is Etuhia 18.
Oh, no.
We're going to get angry phone calls and letters. I do want to... we got some serious things that we're going to talk about. The title of the episode today is just The VA Sucks, because there's been a lot of stuff happening in both of our lives that do the VA. But before we do get started, I want to reach out and say something about a guy who I befriended on Twitter years ago. He was always a super nice guy. He was a champion competitive eater, Pat from Moonaki. He passed away of complications from diabetes. So for those of us who knew him from Twitter, Pat is gone, but he will forever hold a place in our hearts. So God bless Pat. And that's all I just wanted to say about that, because a lot of people who I know watch the show were friends with Pat.
Just that kind of day for news, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, it's been a very heavy holiday season starting off. In fact, you had something or some people that experienced something here recently, correct?
Actually, this all kicked off last night.
Okay.
I have friends and supporters of the show, the channel. They're supporters on Subscribestar. So they basically help produce my show, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. They're both their parents, and they're both military veterans, Army veterans. One of them is a retired Special Forces enlisted man, and I can't remember what mom did, but their son was also in the army. He was a ranger. They have other children who are in the military. So this is a family that's dedicated their lives to military service. Their son was deployed to Afghanistan at the same time that his father was deployed. So that's a multi-generational. I just let people need to let this sink in. It's a multi-generational conflict that has when the war on terror started, this young man was a child. Grew up in a country that was constantly at war. Constantly. That's all he's ever known. Now, most of us alive have never known the United States at a time of peace. We think we have, but we have been embroiled in conflict across the globe since World War I, really. But this young man was born into a time of war, had a dad that served his entire life as a soldier. He then followed in his father's footsteps, joined the United States Army, became a ranger, and you can see Juan. Go ahead and put his picture up if you would. This is Garrett, my friends. This is Garrett, the son of my friends here in Minnesota. Garrett was a ranger. He did go to Afghanistan. He came back in early 2019 after experiencing what most people in Afghanistan did experience, but it was a pretty bad mission. People died, and the army just disposed of him. They just cut him loose and abandoned him. And a lot of you are saying, and his mom texted me, sent me a text tonight after I did my YouTube video talking about this on my way home from work, and she said, there's a lot of Garretts out there. And there are a bunch of Garretts out there. And instead of being able to get the help that he should be getting, and I got an email from somebody that watched my video earlier, a Marine Corps veteran, who said he won't go to the VA for mental health help. He doesn't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you talk to people, they have a hard time trusting the VA for regular medical care. Like, I don't even know about dental care. Like, I don't like a regular dentist. I don't know if I want a VA dentist working on me. But there are people that don't trust them for medical care.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that damn sure won't trust them for mental health care, emotional damage. And that's the thing is, I said earlier in the video that I did on my own channel earlier, I said you can see the battle scars on a person. If they're missing a leg, if they're missing arms, if they're paralyzed, they've been shot in the neck, if they've been, got shrapnel in the face or something, you can see those scars. What you don't see is the internal emotional damage. You don't see the internal psychological scarring. And it doesn't take, a battle of the bulge scenario. It doesn't take a Tet Offensive scenario. Sometimes it's just one bad mission. Sometimes it's a whole series of missions. Sometimes it's a close call. And last night, Garrett, we don't know all the facts yet, but we do know, according to a friend that was with him, Garrett was refusing help, stepped out in the street, and was hit by a car. Like I said, we don't know why.
And doing this show and getting mental help for myself and the things I've been through, after you get through and do a lot of these things, those of us who've been through it, we start to see those scars, those internal scars, and we're able to kind of spot them. That's why I encourage everyone out there who's struggling to dial 988 and press 1 for the Veteran Crisis Line. Or you can always go on the Battle Buddies app where I'm a mentor and there's other veterans there who are mentors because we've dealt with it. And for those who do it, for those who reach out to get help, it's going to be a process. It's going to take a long time. Some things are not going to work. Try medication. Try other things. Try meditation. Try yoga. I always tell people, if it seems stupid but it works, it's not stupid. And you never know what that thing is that's going to help you. So always stick with it. Keep trying to improve because eventually you will. If you're giving it an honest effort, you will get better. It takes a lot of work. I first started on my journey back in 2013, and I still have effects today. In fact, we'll get in later in the show. We'll get in some of the things that I've been going through. But I had to call the Veteran Crisis Line 3 times this month. Not because I was in any type of fear of hurting myself, but because of the VA just doing dumb stuff. Like things that will get people killed. People, like him, if they reached out, would not be getting help. And that's unacceptable. We lose over 22 veterans every single day.
What Garrett's parents will tell you is that they know their kid's not an angel.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you that. Any parent who tells you that their kid is an angel just literally never spent time with their child. But they'll tell you he wasn't an angel. He's made a lot of really bad decisions personally with his life since he was discharged from active duty. And what level of help he sought, I don't know that anybody can attest to that. The issue is what we're looking at in these situations is, Skipper, you make a good point. Like if you put effort into it, you can get better. The problem is a lot of people don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
They know they don't feel right, but they don't know what's wrong. And so they don't know to put effort into it. They don't know that like this isn't who I am now. And so, and I'm not critiquing you. I'm saying that you're right. If they know. The problem is Garrett should have never been put out on the street, for lack of better terminology. And that's what the military does. Now, the military industrial complex, they want to use you up and then get rid of you because you served your purpose. You're not a pawn. You're not effective anymore. You're not able to function the way we want you to function. So you're no good to us anymore. Get rid of you. And well, you've got the VA. Well, no, get them the goddamn help. Get them the help. Can we please, ladies and gentlemen, all of you flag-waving Americans who are so pro-military, who are so okay with sending your boys and girls overseas to die because it's not your kid, but God damn it, it's the cause. What are you going to do for people like this? How many more Garretts is it going to take? Whether it was a suicide attempt or it was drinking or it was just a bad decision or it was a bad moment, how much more is it going to take before Americans pull their heads out of their collective derrieres and say enough of these stupid wars? And you think, look at this picture. Look at Garrett. Look at him. He's a kid. He's a freaking kid. And they're not done with our kids yet, ladies and gentlemen. They want to send your kids, and they're over there now. They want to send your kids into Eastern Europe to fight these flippin' wars. To come back maybe physically undamaged, but messed up in the head, and they don't want to help them because it's too damn expensive. What difference can we make besides applauding and waving a flag and showing up at a Veterans Day event or going out to a veteran cemetery somewhere and doing an empty, hollow statement of what we believe and why we support the current thing, whatever the thing is, especially if it involves our military. This is what matters, is it's kids like Garrett and his parents and his siblings. Because now, on top of everything else, if he lives through this, his recovery isn't going to be just the physical therapy. It's not going to be just getting over a brain injury.
Mhm.
It's going to be getting to the root cause of why all of this happened in the first place.
I was on the phone for over an hour last night with someone who is still active duty. With, I'll just say he's a Marine Corps Master Sergeant, so very high enlisted. And we were talking about his situation. He's sick. He is sick. Military medicine was not helping him. He thankfully is in a position where he could go to outside help, and he's finally starting to get help. And they are now trying to pressure him to go to an area where he's not going to get the medical help that he needs. And he's conflicted. He's weighing, do I do what's right for the Marine Corps, or do I do what's right for my health? And I told him, I said, look, as someone who's been there and who's gone through it, I went through the same things when I left active duty. And I told him, I said, you're going to have to deal with your health long after the Marine Corps is done with you. So if I were you, I would put your health first, because the Marine Corps can always find someone else to put in that slot, but they are not helping you right now. Medically, you are not getting what you need. So go to where you can get the medical attention that you need, and then the Marine Corps will be better for you being healthier. I said, so that's what my advice that I would give you. And I don't know what he's going to choose.
Go back a few weeks.
Yeah.
Go back a few weeks. We had Isaac on, and what he went through.
Yeah.
Went to a civilian hospital as a military person, as a service member. Ended up not finding the military to be a good fit for him anymore. Walked out, goes into civilian life. And his experience in the military, not deployed to a war zone, but his experience in the military was enough to have caused this mental health crisis that he found himself in, which has now impacted his life as a private citizen. And where's the VA in all this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where are they?
The most frequent thing I've heard out of the VA is, well, we don't do that when it's any type of a problem. One of the very...
Well, what do they do, honestly? I mean...
Well, they like to tout, oh, yeah, you can get free glasses from us. So, okay, I wear glasses. I'm getting older. I need them to read. But I contacted the VA. Hey, I'm in community care. I need eyeglass appointment. Yeah, come on in. I'm like, yeah, I do community care because I'm over 100 miles away. How do I get this? Oh, yeah, you community care, but they're going to make you pay for the glasses. I was like, well, I have my prescription. Can I just give you my prescription and you guys just send me a pair? Nope, we don't do that. They literally want me to drive 100 miles for free glasses. I'm like, do you know what the price of gas is right now? Those glasses are not free. Like, so what are you doing for me? Nothing.
And that's something else too. As a small government person, I personally believe that we''d be better off if we disbanded the Department of Veterans Affairs, because quite frankly, everything the government touches, it is the opposite of the Midas touch. Everything the government touches turns to fecal matter. It just does.
Absolutely.
It just, and the VA is a perfect example of that. I would love to see the VA disbanded, and all of that money that we spend, the billions of dollars a year on the VA. Do you know, just out of curiosity, do you know how much that would benefit the veterans if they distributed that money directly to the veterans instead? Like, if you're a veteran, here's your VA check.
Yeah. Go
on a weekly
go get
basis
health
or
care.
a monthly basis.
That'd be
Yeah,
way
like,
better.
here's your VA. Here's your VA check. Here's your like we cut out the overhead. I mean, we don't have to pay the doctors. We don't have to pay nurses. But can't do that because that would. Uh, how should TC say this?
We've
All
got
of
some
those
commenters.
people who are sucking on the hind tit of the sow of the federal government would no longer have jobs. Who's going to take care of them? I mean, I've heard these arguments before, but what about all those doctors and nurses and staff members and administration people and billing people and coordinating people? Who's going to take care of them? They're not going to have jobs.
Yeah.
Who cares?
So
Give the money to the vets. Deserve it.
I do monitor. So we're streamed out on several places, and I do monitor the chat logs in both YouTube and Facebook. And right now we're getting some comments on YouTube. One commenter says, "We are just numbers to the government, but we are so much more to our families." And this is a veteran who I think I'd like to have on the show at some point. But that is absolutely true. The government, when you're done with the military, they really don't care about you. They're going to just kick, hey, no, now you're with the VA, and the VA doesn't care. The VA is a bunch of bureaucrats. So you have to do what's right by your family because your family does care about you, and taking care of your health is absolutely important to your family. So if you're out there and you're struggling, reach out and do it for your family, if for nothing else. So yeah, thank you for your comments, and for those of you watching, please give a comment to us because we want to address everything that's important to you.
And share this, share it from Right American Media. If you're watching it from our platform, share it from Veteran Nation. If you're watching on New Right Network, NRN. My brain's all foggy today. Old man brain. And I want to say this. If you are interested, because this is the first time you've really thought about this, if you're interested in hearing what Skipper and I talk about it a lot, but especially what I talk about, this might be my Juan may have to force me out after this. I don't know. Juan, turn your headphones off so you don't have to hear this.
Earmuffs.
I am a conservative veteran for peace. I am a veteran for peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every logical and reasonable person who has served in the military and is no longer in, and even those that are in, are for peace. They're over the wars. Every vet is for peace. And I agree.
Yeah,
Juan. Absolutely. Because we love our fellow soldiers, Marines, airmen, sailors. We love them. And we're tired of seeing these things happen. I mean, there's a reason why it's 22 or more a day in suicide. But if this is the first time you're noticing and you don't know what to do and you want to help, reach out to me. You can email me at my podcast email. It's mbrrpodcast@yahoo.com. And you reach out to me. I will find
I'll
a way
add that
to
to
connect
the
you
description of the show at the end.
I will, or you can, message me on Twitter at Robe Regiment. Email me or send me a message on Twitter if you really are interested in doing something for Garrett and his family, because this is going to be a long road to recovery for him. And like right now, his dad's exfilled. I have a non-military friend that was like, I feel like you're talking to me in military terms and I don't understand what you're saying. And so exfil, and those who are watching, you know what exfil is, you know what infill is. Dad exfilled this morning out to Virginia, and he is at the hospital right now. in, gosh, I want to make sure I have it exactly right.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm saying it well. He is at the Reston. Garrett is at the Reston Hospital Center in Reston, Virginia. And Dad is there with him right now as a bedside. Other family members are there, but Mom had to stay home because they could only get Dad on the plane today. But Mom is at home holding down the fort. If you have questions about what you can do to help, if you have questions about what this is going to look like in going forward and you're interested in doing something to help, send me an email, send me a message. I will get you in contact with the family. And, I personally invested in this because this family has been a blessing to me and they've been helpful to me. But I would be doing this for any person who reached out with a story like this, because this has got to stop. We can't have any more. We can't have any more Garretts. We just can't. We've got to end this. It's criminal how the VA treats vets. It's criminal how the military treats people when they're getting out and when they are out. And it's criminal how we continue to send these people off to do these things and live through these horrible situations and then abandon them. And it's got to end now. We have to make a difference.
I'm looking up something right now. I do know I have it saved somewhere, so I apologize. I'm not being rude to you. I am listening. But I'm trying to find, I have a number. There's a thing out there called the Mission Act. So if you are a veteran and you need immediate mental health care, they can immediately, you can call and get an immediate referral to an outside provider for mental health. So I can't find that number. I'm looking on my computer, so you hear all the clicking and everything. That's what I'm looking for. I will take that number once I find it, and I'll publish it in the description of this video. So for those of you watching, if you know of anyone who needs immediate mental help, you can do that. Also through the, like I said, I'm in the Battle Buddies app. We have resources there that we can get people to immediate help. So if you have someone that seems like they're in danger, definitely refer them to the Battle Buddies app. It's on, Android and Apple Play or Apple Store and Play Store, all those things. So yeah, I will get that out there, and I'll go into a little bit of what I was dealing with. So for the last several years, I've had some health issues, and I've worked on them and whatnot, but it really limited what I could do and stuff like that. And I'm finally starting to get ahead of it, finally starting to get some really good news. And, for those of you who've been following me, you probably can tell, I look better. My color's back and stuff like that. But it's taken some time. And then I went to do, for those of you who are unaware with the VA, there's a thing out there called My Health eVet, and they have secure messaging where you can, ask for referrals and stuff like that. And because, I've had some increased stress, so that causes me, even though, I'm pretty well have my PTSD in hand, but whenever there's increased stress, I'll have, things like I'll have a hard time sleeping. I'll, just be a little bit stressed, a little bit, just on edge on stuff. So to combat that, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go get me a new therapist and, start doing more routine therapy than what I've been doing. And so I sent a secure message to my primary care provider, what you're supposed to absolutely do. And it took them 7 days to get back to me. And if they had taken 7 days...
Good thing it wasn't a crisis.
Well, exactly. But had they taken 7 days and said, here's your doctor, here, call them, I probably would not have gotten mad. But what they responded with made me absolutely furious. And because I work through this show and I work through Battle Buddies app, and I'm always trying to help, veterans get mental health care. What they responded, they took a week to respond to say, we need to forward this to mental health. Like, not We forwarded it. Not, hey, you have a doctor. We haven't forwarded yet. We're going to do that now. It took them a week to respond to an email, essentially, to say, yeah, we're going to do some work. And I was just like, are you effing kidding me? So what I did was I called the VA crisis line, not because I was in crisis, but because that is unsat. We lose over 22 veterans a day, and you can't respond to an email for 7 days. I know when I was in the military, if you took longer than 24 hours to respond to an email, people were on you. I don't want to get this video banned. They were on you because there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that if you're in your office. And this was before the holiday, so it wasn't like, oh, they were gone for Thanksgiving. Veterans Day, I think, did fall on that, and I was still willing. That's okay. But still, 7 days to just respond to an email when we're losing people. And I just responded, you people suck at your job. This is why we're losing people. You can't even respond. It's ridiculous. I'll tell you this, I've been trying to get in touch with one person, and I've got their phone number at my VA in Loma Linda, California. They have not responded back to my 3 voicemails. Not responded. What the hell? That person should be fired. If you can't respond to a voicemail, you should be fired. But luckily, the person at the crisis line, I was like, look, I'm just doing this to identify where the problem is so we can fix this. And that's where they gave me the number to the Mission Act line. So I will find that. I will put that in the video. But they also gave me a line to the White House's VA complaint line. So I don't know if you want to be be with me, TC. I'm going to call that number, and we're going to see how effective it is. And I'm going to record it for this show. So I don't know if we want to do that on a future episode or if I just want to do it in a video and then upload it. But we're going to call that number and see what type of response we can get. I think I know what kind of response, and for all the veterans watching, I think
Well,
what type
I'm hoping that whoever's manning the White House's VA line is more possessed of their mental faculties than our current commander-in-chief.
Yeah. And, one thing I will say, and thank you for your comment, Levi, on YouTube. He says, he doesn't rely on the VA. He relies on his church group for mental health and help and places to talk to. Absolutely. You definitely need to create yourself a circle of people who care about you and people who you can vent to. So absolutely reach out to those people. Some people, depending on what they're dealing with, that might not be enough. I know I've always had my circle of people that I can call and talk through things and whatnot, because that's actually one of my symptoms of PTSD. I start talking really fast, and I want to get everything out, and it's crazy. But I
feel all guilty for all those times I cut you off while you're talking really fast and just wanting.
It's a muscle.
I just couldn't go with. I couldn't go without making at least one crack at the expense of Skipper tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna have bad jokes tonight. But yeah, it's a muscle, and I understand
you ever
that.
Not have bad jokes.
Every show.
Yes, it is a muscle memory reaction. Yes.
But yeah, like PTSD, that is a symptom, and I understand that it's the chemistry of my brain trying to connect where it's not connecting, and talking is my way of getting it out. So, you'll see that with people with PTSD and people who are going through any type of crisis, small or large. Yes.
I think we sent Juan into crisis. He hasn't. Oh, he's back in the room now. Okay. I thought Juan was in crisis. He's just disappeared. Just kind of. I'm like, we can't keep this going forever. We have no way to end the stream. Juan's got all the power.
He had to go in the other room to throw up.
Get the Puerto Rican power.
He heard my attempt at Spanish at the beginning of the show. I do want to point out Sue here. She said, yeah, getting people to accept mental health has always been a tough one. It's absolutely true. We get a lot of veterans who reach out to both me and TC. Always be if they reach out to you, always be there to listen, give good advice, but just understand they're probably not going to take it until they're ready to take it. It's almost like alcoholism and any type of addiction. They have to be ready for help. You can't force them into help because it's just not going to take. But be there, be a buddy to them, check in on them, make sure that they know that they're not alone, because when they start feeling alone is when bad things will happen.
Why am I hearing jingle bells in the background at your house?
Oh, that's Conspiracy Kitty. He really wants in on the show. But yeah, I'm not talking conspiracies. He's been saying to me for the last 3 weeks, "Told you so, told you so, told you so." Every
So
time
he's been
something,
watching my show.
yeah, every time something new in the show happens, this cat's looking at me like, yeah, he's like, the moon landing's coming up. You just watch.
Jeez.
I keep telling him, no, we landed on the moon. What was that one?
Juan, you said 5? Juan said 5. All right. Yeah, I think that's doable. I think this is highlighted for me. I mean, I've had, Skipper knows how much trouble I have trusting the VA because he's been on me to get involved, and I'm just like,
I'm trying to open your world to a whole new level of frustration.
Juan, do you have any videos for us tonight picking on all the branches?
Nothing.
Do you have any videos for us at all tonight? Juan is in crisis. He doesn't have videos.
Is anyone in the New England states right now that can do a buddy check?
Oh wait, he says is that one set you got something for us, Juan? All right.
Oh, Juan is always there in the clutch. He's always got something for us, even when he doesn't think he does. He's like, no, he's that.
Did you say the clutch? Are you making a joke about car repair in Puerto Ricans? Because that's a little. I mean, it's true. I mean, I work with a Puerto Rican gal. We just call her the Ricatina. What do you got for us, Juan? Give us something to laugh at. Love this one.
I apologize.
No, he's perfect.
I'm breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what the sad thing about this is?
What's that?
She's actually pretty.
Oh, she's very pretty.
She's a pretty lady, and the thing is, if you didn't have to listen to her talk, she'd remain pretty. But then she opens her mouth, and you just find out how ugly she is as a person.
I am not going to discuss ex-lovers on this show.
That is a typical telenovela, as Twitter terms.
I hope one day I'm that good at editing as that video was. I'm getting there. I'm practicing, people. TC, you plugging anything? You selling anything?
Always selling something. I have beanies are now the newest item in my merch They're not the handmade one like this, but they are high quality beanie, and I have got it like a light gray and a charcoal gray, and they're available for sale. You can email me at mbrrpodcast@yahoo.com. I also have merchandise and coffee. Coffee is phenomenal. Great coffee. I've got mugs and tumblers. I got it all there. And since we were talking a little bit, I reached out to Scott Horton about this situation because Scott knows the people involved. If you haven't yet, either use a credit on Audible or go and buy this book directly from Scott. He is the director of the Libertarian Institute and chief editor at antiwar.com. And as I have often described Scott and others at antiwar.com and Libertarian, Scott is not a patchouli bathing, long-haired, sandal-wearing hippie. Scott is an intellect, and his positions are arrived at through logic and reasoning. And so I shared the story that I shared tonight with Scott as well, and Scott has been pushing it out. And if you would seriously like to help this family, and you can start helping all the other Garretts by helping this Garrett. Because once you become aware of these things, you will not stop being aware, and you will seek to help other people. And I just know that about our audience and people who stumble across this. The VA is sick, and it's killing people. And we can make a difference. But we have to stop saying, well, the VA is there, they'll take care of this, because they won't. And so I would strongly encourage all of you to find a way to help. Reach out to Skipper, reach out to me. How to get a hold of me and Skipper will be in the description of the video. Juan knows how to get a hold of us. He'll help you if you reach out to Red America Media. I'm in the middle of a fundraiser for somebody right now, but as all of this proceeds, when I'm done with that fundraiser, I'm pretty sure I'm going to launch a fundraiser for this family and for Garrett.
Excellent.
And we'll see what we can do. I can't do much. Like, I have a small platform, but every little bit helps raise awareness. So,
and with
we'll
this
get that
show,
in the works.
We are turning it. We have done the paperwork. It is now. We now have the Veteran Nation Foundation. It is a charity so that we can help people that are friends of the show and reach out to us. And if you go in the YouTube description of this show, we have a link to our Veteran Nation ship store. In there, we've got hoodies, we got T-shirts, we got other stuff. If you have ideas, please send them to us because we want to, create some merchandise that you guys would enjoy having, so that we can raise money and help more veterans. But as always, you can follow us on Twitter, Road Regiment, at Road Regiment, at Veteran Nation Host, and at Veteran Nation Pod. We're also on Instagram, and you can join our Facebook group. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.